The Talbot Tavern, built in 1779 and known as the oldest Western stagecoach stop in America, continues to change the futures of those who cross its threshold. And many of those who have indeed visited the tavern have been instrumental in changing futures themselves. Abraham Lincoln, Andrew Jackson, Henry Clay, William Henry Harrison, General George Roger Clark, and even the outlaw Jesse James have passed through town stopping at the tavern. Once known as the Newman House, the inn was purchased by George Talbot in 1912, and upon George's death a year later, his wife Annie took over the business. In 1926, while repapering the walls, workmen uncovered the large murals that had been discovered 30 years earlier by Annie Talbot. In 1938, the Talbot Hotel was sold to C.P. Moore. The name was changed to the Old Talbot Tavern in March of that year. In the spring of 1965, the Talbot Tavern received a facelift. A section of the old inn was raised and a new addition built that included space for a pharmacy, a dining area, a gift shop, an apartment, and 2 inn rooms and an office. However, on March 7th of 1998, the 5 overnight guests were evacuated from the tavern as firefighters worked to control a raging fire that began under the main wooden stairway. The roof, the ceilings of the upper floors, and the stairway were completely destroyed. Water damaged the lower areas, which were not burned. However, the basement was completely flooded. As testimony to the historical importance of the tavern to this community, volunteers gave their money and their time to help the owners, the Kelly family, with the tavern's restoration. And after 19 months of repair and renovation, the tavern reopened in November of 1999. Throughout its long and sometimes tragic but always graceful past, the Talbot Tavern has been a significant part of not only the Bardstown landscape, but of the lives of all of those who have enjoyed its hospitality. Here tonight to receive the award is Jack Kelly.
All right, we got Diane Gagney for Conway and Heaton.
As Kentucky's oldest Ford dealership and one of the 100 oldest Ford dealerships in the United States, Conway Heaton has long been an important part of our local community. The dealership opened its doors in 1919, not far from its current location on North 3rd Street. It was in 1921 that J.F. Conway and Company moved to its new fireproof garage on what was then known as West Market Street. Family owned, with members of the 4th generation carrying on the journey of growth and expansion, Conway Heaton continues to be known for putting the customer first and offering good service. Founder Jim Conway was followed into the business by his son Pike, father of the current president, Bill Conway. Bill's sons, Pikey and Michael, have joined the dealership also. Vice President Dick Heaton has also been joined by his son Nicholas, ensuring that tradition of the family-owned business continues. The years have seen many advances in automotive design as well as in technology, but dedication to serve customers in sales, service, leasing, and collision repair remains unchanged. The fact that 60% of Conway Heaton's sales are to previous customers is evidence to the business's dedication to serving the people of Nelson County. In just a few short years, Conway Heaton will celebrate its 100th anniversary. Their future will be guided by what they won't change, and that is their commitment to their customers and their community. And tonight accepting this award is Mr. Dick Heaton and Bill Conway.
All right, we got Miss Polly Hall for the Sisters of Charity.
The Sisters of Charity of Nazareth celebrated their 200th anniversary December 1st, 2012, and they have been changing the futures not only of Nelson Countyans, but of citizens around the world through their ministries of teaching children and ministering to the sick, the poor, and the elderly. The Sisters of Charity had their beginnings under the leadership of Mother Catherine Spaulding on St. Thomas Farm in Nelson County in 1813. There, a small group of sisters established a school, the beginning of a valuable and historic legacy. The sisters remained vital to Nelson County. They moved from St. Thomas Farm to the property they named Nazareth in 1822, where a number of sisters still live today. That property once housed a well-respected college and is now the site of apartments for the elderly, a Montessori school for young children, and a working farm. The sisters have spread their influence worldwide, first in India in 1947 and later in Belize in 1975. The congregation contributed the largest amount of any funding source toward the building of Flagey Memorial Hospital in 1951. In the 1980s, the sisters were the first in Kentucky to open their nursing home to AIDS patients, a ministry that has resulted in the first nonprofit in Kentucky for women and children with AIDS, the House of Ruth. The sisters and their associates have earned a reputation for a readiness to respond and a willingness to take risks. They volunteered in New Orleans following Hurricane Katrina and provided outreach to the victims of the tsunami in India. They have recently created a formal volunteer disaster relief program. Today, there are more than 630 sisters and 250 associates in 5 nations, continuing to carry out diverse ministries, meeting needs in healthcare, education, social services, and pastoral ministries. Accepting for the Sisters of Charity is Sister Mary Elizabeth.